welcome to everyone joining us in the room today and online from around the world. It is wonderful to welcome everybody here for our second Nonprofit Global Leaders Summit. And once again, it's really truly an honour to be surrounded by so many change makers, the people and organisations working on some of the most difficult challenges facing people and communities around the world today. And as Naria said, here in the room, we're joined by more than 1,500 people from over 1,000 nonprofits across 52 countries, including the UK, Canada, Brazil, Australia, Germany, South Africa, and many more. And we're also thrilled to have thousands of people joining us virtually from around the world. Collectively, your organisation's missions span humanitarian aid, global health, education, workforce development, community services, faith-based initiatives, human rights, disaster relief, and much more. And you represent organisations of every size, from small but mighty teams like Crossroads Hospice Society and Hope for Africa Foundation, to some of the largest global NGOs like Norwegian Refugee Council and CARE. But first, I must start with a thank you. I think you may agree that there is a tremendous amount of change going on in the world today. Evolving geopolitics, new policies, dynamic societal challenges have placed a tremendous amount of pressure on the nonprofit sector. And we know that you're all grappling with tremendously complicated situations. And we really deeply appreciate that you've prioritised your time and your resources to spend the next 2 days with us, and we don't take that lightly. Nonprofits are being asked to respond to more crises than ever before, and the demand is only rising fast. 71% of nonprofits are reporting increased demand for their programs, but support isn't keeping pace. The number of individual donors declined by 3.4% last year, even as total giving increased slightly. And that means that nonprofits are relying on fewer, higher value donors, making them more financially vulnerable. And the impact is clear. 62% of nonprofit leaders say they're worried about long-term financial stability. And here in the US alone, almost 50% of nonprofits are operating on a financial precipice. It's, I think, easy to look at the headlines and feel like the challenges that nonprofits are facing today are insurmountable. But when we take a step back, the arc of history tells a different story. Over the past 3 decades, global extreme poverty has been cut in half. Child mortality rates have fallen by nearly 60%, and more children are in school today than ever before. And of course, as all of you know, that progress hasn't been linear. We've seen major setbacks, from a global pandemic to economic shocks and humanitarian crises, that have really tested the resilience of communities and nonprofit organisations around the world. But even amidst these challenges, the broader trajectory reminds us that meaningful change is possible. And these milestones didn't happen by accident. They happened because of all of you, because of the collective work of nonprofits, of governments and communities coming together to solve problems. As author and scientist Steven Pinker often reminds us, when we compare today to 30 years ago, we've seen improvements in poverty, in education, and in health. But progress isn't automatic, and it doesn't mean that challenges disappear for everyone. And I really love this quote. Progress isn't inevitable, and it doesn't mean everything gets better for everyone all the time. Instead, progress is problem solving. And it happens when people commit to tackling the world's biggest challenges head on. And that's exactly why we're here today, because in the face of uncertainty, you continue to lead with innovation, to elevate the pressing challenges, and to push boundaries, to drive change and find solutions. And technology alone, of course, isn't the answer, but it is a very powerful lever. And when paired with the expertise, the leadership, and the commitment of the nonprofit community, it can drive innovative new solutions. It can help scale what works, and it can deepen connections with the people and the communities that you serve and your partners and funders. So the challenges ahead of us are real, but so is our ability to tackle them together. It's only been 2 years since the launch of ChatGPT in November 2022, which is often considered the launch of generative AI. And in just 2 years, we've moved from experimentation to real-world impact, with AI shifting more from novelty to necessity in terms of how nonprofits can deliver on their missions. And we've learned that AI is most successful when it's not used for its own sake, but when it's applied to solve real problems and to strengthen the work that organisations are already doing. As Mustafa Suleyman, who you'll hear from tomorrow, has said, technology for technology's sake counts for nothing. What matters is how it feels to people and how it impacts societies. And we've really seen this come to life as organisations are moving beyond early pilots and are beginning to embed AI into core programs to expand reach, to improve efficiencies, and to spark new ideas and solutions. What was once an emerging trend is now becoming a strategic imperative. For those of you that joined us at our summit last year, we heard your feedback. And so this year, we've provided more opportunities to move beyond discussion and into action with a focus on application and empowerment. Not just understanding AI, but how to apply it and put it to work in real, meaningful ways. And so we built the agenda with that in mind, intentionally moving beyond theory. And so you're going to see more breakouts, hands-on demos, real-world case studies, and interactive learning opportunities, because we know that to drive real impact, AI needs to be something that you can engage with, that you can experiment with, and that you can apply to your own unique scenarios. We'll showcase some concrete success stories from nonprofits that are really leading the way in AI adoption and demonstrating how organisations of all sizes are integrating AI into their work to help both their own organisation and the people and communities that they serve. Take Amref Health Africa, for example. In Kenya, they're using an AI-powered forecasting tool to predict where malnutrition is likely to occur before it happens. This is built in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the University of Southern California, and Microsoft's AI for Good lab. And this tool analyses years of health data and satellite imagery to identify high-risk areas and anticipate nutrition crises months in advance. The impact? Amref can now plan earlier, and they can pre-position critical supplies and deliver support where it's needed most, before hunger takes hold. So it's helping them shift from reactive response to proactive prevention, saving lives and improving outcomes. And last year, I had the opportunity to visit your town in Australia and see firsthand how they're using AI to enhance their services. Their Kids Helpline, which is a really vital lifeline for children and young people across the country, recently deployed AI to automatically generate case notes. And this is expected to reduce administrative burden by up to 20%, giving counsellors more time to focus on direct care and emotional support. And I think it's a really powerful example of how AI can make frontline services more responsive, more efficient, and can free up people's time to do what only they can do. And they're just two stories, but I think they represent the broader opportunity ahead of us. So over the next 2 days, you're going to hear from many more organisations that are embracing AI in creative and very purposeful ways. You know, I think it's clear that technology, including AI, is a powerful enabler, but it's up to all of us to ensure that it's harnessed in service of people and mission. And I said this last year, and I'll say it again, if I could ask just one thing of everyone over the next 2 days, it's to stay open, stay curious, ask the hard questions, and let's learn from each other.